This video is sponsored by Aura, the highest paying finance career tier list. That is what we're going to be going over today. We're going to be ranking different finance careers from S tier, which is the best, to F tier, which is the worst from a financial perspective in terms of how much money you'll make. We'll also be talking about other factors, but primarily we're going to focus on how much they make, so it's really difficult to find accurate numbers on how much you can expect to make in different finance jobs, because a lot of the time it doesn't have as much to do with the job you're in, but more to do with the company you work for or the industry that you're in. So if you appreciate me doing research and doing these types of videos, go ahead, gently tap that like button, and also share the video with somebody else you think would want to see it. And if you agree or disagree with any of these rankings, let me know down below. At the end of the day, this is just my opinion, and if you think my opinion is wrong, that's totally fine. It's good that we all start a conversation that we can all learn something from. All right, so let's get started right away with Vice President of Analytics. So the Vice President of Analytics is in charge of the collection and analysis of data, and specifically in the finance industry. This is incredibly valuable, so you want to be able to quickly collect data and then also decide immediately what actionable steps you should take based off of that data. Glassdoor has the average salary for this position being between $127,000 to $230,000, but you can see even higher salaries in the finance industry, because data is basically everything. That's what gives you an edge over your competition. And finance is of course incredibly competitive, and I guess I should say that right away. This list is for people who are like a type personalities. You're very competitive, probably you know you're okay working like 60+ hours a week, not having a great work-life balance, but also people who are ambitious and they want to have really high-paying jobs. So with that being said, this one is going to go into a tier. Next one on the list is going to be strategy consulting. So this is where you're working for maybe one of the big four accounting firms, and I guess like consulting in general, even though there's a lot of differences there. A lot of the time they will end up working in different areas of finance. So if you're like a second-year consultant at McKinsey, for instance, you're an associate, you can expect to make over $200,000 a year in total compensation, and there's honestly a lot more to it than that. I could probably make like a 5-video series just on consulting alone. But yeah, consulting can be phenomenal. It's also a career path that leads to many other opportunities. This one is going to go into a tier. Next one on the list is going to be entrepreneurship. So this is basically starting up your own business, and there is a ton of opportunity in the finance industry for this. Now this is high risk and also high reward, but there's a lot of exciting new fintech companies starting up in the space, and one of them is the sponsor of today's video, which is Aura. Do you guys know what the fastest growing crime that's affecting millions of people in America is? Well, the answer is identity theft, and there is a new victim every 14 seconds. A few years ago, my roommate had his identity stolen not once but twice, and it completely turned his life upside down, and that's why I'm excited to partner with today's sponsor, Aura. Aura is identity theft protection, fraud monitoring, of VPN, password management, and antivirus, all combined into one easy-to-use app. Now you might have one of these services already, but if you don't have all the tools, it's like locking the front door but leaving the back door wide open. Those who have their identity stolen are often shocked when it happens. Imagine trying to log into your email account one day to see that your password has changed hours ago, and then you start getting notifications of activity from your bank, credit cards, crypto accounts, etc. It's scary and unfortunately a reality for too many people. Thankfully, Aura monitors the dark Web for emails, passwords and social security numbers, and sends alerts fast. Right to your phone and email. I actually use Aura, and when I entered my email into Aura, they monitored the dark web and found that my email and password had already been exposed once, and when it comes to fraud, every second matters. You can connect your credit card and bank accounts and you'll get notified of any changes up to 4 times faster than Aura's competitors. Aura's VPN allows you to stay anonymous online by keeping your browsing history and personal information safe and encrypted. Protect yourself and your family from identity theft at www.aura.com. Shane Hummus. And if you sign up right now at aura.com, Shane Hummus, they will give you a 2-week free trial so that you can see if you or your family's information has been exposed to the dark web as well. And I'm actually curious to know how many of you have had your information leaked to the dark web. So if you do decide to use Aura's free trial, let me know in the comments down below if your information has been compromised. Thank you again to Aura for sponsoring this video, and let's get back to the main content. So yeah, entrepreneurship. Lots of opportunity, really phenomenal. I think everybody knows this, don't need to go into too much detail. Another thing is, finance is one of the industries that has the most opportunity, and a lot of the time you are seeing, the combination of finance and technology. Technology is also a phenomenal industry as well, and so if you start a business in one of these industries, you're going to have a much better chance of success. So yeah, entrepreneurship is S tier all right. So I'm going to go over these really fast so I can keep this video relatively short. Not going to explain these decisions all that much. So tax director is going to be next one on the list. Glassdoor has been making about $123,000 to $210,000 per year. This one goes into a tier. Now if you go into banking, you can expect to make somewhere between $90,000 to $140,000 a year right off the bat. So banking can be really good, but it's also really competitive. Investment banking is next on the list, and this is something where you might do something like mergers and acquisitions, IPOs, debt refinancing, etc. And finance is well known for you to work really crazy hours, and investment banking is actually probably the worst one. You're going to be working somewhere between 80 to 120 hours a week easily, but you can make over $200,000 a year starting off in investment banking if you're able to land a job, and it's also basically a pipeline to even better jobs down the line. So investment banking, this one has to go into S tier. So one example would be an investment banking managing director. This is definitely not an entry-level job, but this is one of the ones that you can look for down the line, and they absolutely make bank. So again, these numbers are really hard to find. I couldn't find one on Glassdoor, but the numbers that I'm seeing are $350,000 to $600,000 a year, and that's just your base salary. Your bonus range is somewhere between 100 to 200 of your base, so that's $750,000 to $1.8 million a year total compensation. So that's just one example. Not an entry-level job, not even close to entry-level, but